continue doing that. When you think about having functional strength, you think about having balance, you think about minimizing wear and tear on joints. These are all things that are available in a lot of forms of exercise, but they're certainly readily available in Tai Chi and Qigong. And that's why a day like today is so special, because today's World Tai Chi and Qigong Day, all over the world at 10 a.m. in each time zone, and we're coming up on 10 a.m. here in Central Time. People are practicing Tai Chi and Qigong, and they're doing it to kind of send a wave of Qi around the world and to remind people, even in times like this where there's so much uncertainty, and even in times like this where you could feel trapped at home, maybe even by yourself, there's no need to stay stuck in that. Because one of the other really special aspects of martial arts training, and in particular Tai Chi training, is the meditative aspect of it. And there are principles of Tai Chi and Qigong. One principle is harmony of movement. And so what does that mean? That means if you're moving two hands, they should try to start at the same time and finish at the same time. So if we're doing a technique, we're trying to go slowly to match up starting and finishing those movements together. And when you've got that down, then there's harmony of hand movements with the footwork. And when you've gotten that down, there's harmony of hand movements, footwork, weight shifting. And when you've gotten that down, there's harmony of breathing with it. The point is there's always something to focus on. And at a time when, I don't know about any of you out there, but I know for me, at a time when it's easy to let the brain race off into the future, with what could be happening or what might go down in the future or what might have happened in the past, or what I should have done in the past, coming back to this moment right now and really focusing on harmony of movement, harmony of breath, harmony of the weight shifting, really getting into a feeling of the technique and enjoying the technique. It's a way to hit the pause button on all that stuff and just enjoy right now. And I think when you couple that with the slow breathing we do in Tai Chi, it can be such a great way to unwind a hyperactive nervous system. You know, a lot of people talk about the fight or flight response and how throughout our lives we strengthen that stress response, and we strengthen it over and over, making it easier to trigger that stress response. And here in Chinese martial arts, especially in Tai Chi and in Qigong, we get an opportunity to strengthen a relaxation response. And that's what I'm hopeful we can do today. So today is World Tai Chi and Qigong Day. I'm Dr. Mike Brach, physical therapist, also a martial artist. You're here with me at Tribe Wellness, which is my physical therapy clinic and also a location for group exercise programs specific to people with Parkinson's disease or other forms of Parkinsonism. And you might say, wait a minute, man, I don't have that. That's okay. You can still work out with us. In fact, normally on Saturdays, weather permitting, I do a class downtown here in Dallas at Clyde Warren Park, which is one of the absolute gems of our city. And each year, for the last 5 years, I've done this event at Clyde Warren Park. And you might say, what is this event? Today is World Tai Chi and Qigong Day. And according to our mayor, Dallas Mayor Eric Johnson, today is Dallas Tai Chi Day. So I'm glad you're all here. I'm looking at the numbers online. We've got a bunch of you now. This is great. And it sounds like you can hear me. There might be a slight delay because of the microphone headset. Don't worry about that. Here's what we're going to do today. We're going to do a very brief warm-up. We're going to do a little Qigong and breath work. And then we'll do just a few basic Tai Chi techniques, and we'll string them together. We'll have a good time. And the miracle in all of this is what we're doing right now has been sent to us hour by hour across each time zone, and we'll continue to send it into the other time zones for this beautiful moment all over the world where everyone is doing Tai Chi and Qigong at 10 a.m. in their respective time zones. So I always like to start class and finish class in a very traditional manner as a sign of respect to each other and to where we practice. Let's stand tall or sit tall and give a slight bow. And before we warm up, I want to remind you that you're practicing wherever you are. You're not practicing here in person with me, so I'm not in a position to help you out if something goes wrong. So I'm saying that because I want you to be safe. I want you to know that you're practicing at your own risk. And I'm really hopeful that you have appropriate footwear on, like shoes. It's appropriate. It's common in Chinese martial arts to wear shoes. We don't go barefoot very often when working out. I hope you have uncluttered space in which to practice. I hope if you have a balance problem or concern, that you've got something sturdy that you can hang on to. So just please take care of yourselves, because this is not the time where you want to end up having a fall, trying to, or getting an injury, trying to obtain health benefits from Tai Chi. Let's do just a brief warm up here. We'll get our feet about hips width, shoulders back, head up high, tilt the pelvis back just a bit. And let's reach the arms out slowly as we breathe in. We'll lace the fingers together, lower the palms, pressing the palms straight down as we breathe out. We'll bring the palms back up overhead, breathing in, and then we'll separate. Slower is better. So again, we're breathing in, out. We're reaching up, and then we're separating. This is a good time to just slow down and settle your way into warming up, getting the body used to moving again. In, out, little by little, breathing out. Let's reach up and lock the arms out overhead this time. And let's do 3 big circles to one side. With the circles, I want you to keep your eyes looking upward at your hands or following the hands. I want you to try to move from your hips. We'll go around slowly with good control 3 times. Here's 1, 2, 3. And then we'll change directions. 1, 2, and 3. Next up, let's fold forward. Try to keep your knees pretty straight. We'll gently press the palms down towards the floor and bounce towards the floor 3 times to the middle of your feet. 1, 2, 3. 3 to one side. 1, 2, 3. 3 to the other side. And then back to the middle again. Then we'll come all the way up and separate. So if you're just joining us, welcome. It's World Tai Chi and Qigong Day 2020. You're at the Tribe Wellness Gym with me doing a digital event because it would be crazy for us to do it at Clyde Warren Park today, although the weather is beautiful. For this warm-up, we're just doing some big shoulder rolls. We're bringing the shoulders up and back and down. Really try to squeeze the shoulder blades together and push your chest forward. as we do this one. And then we'll just change directions with our shoulder rolls. So we're just preparing the body for a little exercise. Another wonderful benefit of Tai Chi and Qigong is if there's a joint in the body, we're probably using its available movement. And I've seen statistics cited that say something like 98% of the available movements of the body are moved in Tai Chi. I don't know if that's true, but I do know we get to do a lot of stuff, and that's fun. Let's let the arms hang loose here. And then we'll just turn side to side. So the arms are just kind of flopping around like cooked noodles while we keep the back up and we keep the head up. And this should be gentle. Usually I say there are 2 rules for Tai Chi class. Rule number 1 is don't panic, because we're going to move slowly. We're going to do things over and over. If you feel like you're not getting it, don't worry, because Tai Chi practice is not about getting things done perfectly. It's about a repetition and just taking some time to do something positive for yourself. Rule number 2 is if it hurts, please stop doing it. If this was in person, I could stop and just give you a modification. And I'll try to do that in this live broadcast, this video. But since that might not be able to happen for you, why not play it safe? Let's take a big step out to the side. And let's bend one knee and straighten the other. Before we do that, just make sure your toes are pointed straight ahead. And on this one, it's going to be really easy to tip forward. I want you to fight the urge to do that. I want you to keep your head up and your back up. Bend one knee, and then we'll straighten the other. Push the hips forward. Hopefully you feel a nice stretch in the hip and in the inner thigh of that straightened out leg. And then we'll go to the other side. Same thing. It doesn't matter how wide your feet go as long as you feel that stretch and as long as you're able to maintain that upright posture. Earlier in the comments, Eve asked, what's the difference between Tai Chi and Qigong? One is Qigong's been around a lot longer. Another is Tai Chi is a martial art. It's based in fighting. And that's not always why it's practiced. You know, it's practiced because it's validated by an abundance of research to help with balance, to help with motor control, to help with postural awareness, to keep joints moving, to build leg strength, all kinds of stuff. But I bring up the fighting aspect because if you were using anything we do today for fighting and you were tipped forward like this, it wouldn't go well. You wouldn't be able to see what's coming at you. You get whacked in the face, and nobody likes that. Nobody likes it. All right, so we've been shifting side to side here. Hopefully that feels pretty good. Let's do one more, and I'll warn you on this next one, if you have back pain, I want you to start small with the movement and take it easy. If you have back pain, I want you to just reach to one side a little bit and then reach to another over and over. If you don't have back pain, let's lower down. We'll sway, swinging the arms around, and then we'll change directions. Big movements around. Remember, you're practicing at home at your own risk. So maybe if this causes you concern or if this causes you fear, maybe you do something different. Maybe you do some side bending, but we're just trying to get some gentle movement through the back. And then let's get just a little bit of hip loosening. You can do some big circles with your hips, and that probably feels good. but slow it down. Make sure you're going slowly. I think this one's kind of fun because it reminds me of those inflatable dudes you see out in front of the used car dealership where they're flopping their arms around and all that. Anyway, I've said too much. Let's change directions. Big circles if you can. All right. So hopefully you feel a little bit more loosened up and warmed up than when we started. Let's get a little focused work on our breath. Deep belly breathing is one of the keys to success in Tai Chi, and it has a number of benefits when you think about the meditative aspect. One aspect of that we really want to focus on is usually when I say to somebody, take a deep breath, I see their shoulders puff up and their chest puff out. We're going to do things a little differently. I want you to breathe in slowly through the nose. Try and pull the air down into your stomach. Feel your stomach expand outward like you've eaten too much. And then as you exhale through the mouth, feel your stomach fall back toward your spine and your hips. So let's get the feet hips width or a little bit wider. We'll turn the toes outward just a bit. Slight bend in the knees. Crown of the head stretched up. Back up straight. Shoulders back. Let's tilt the pelvis back. And let's bring our hands to the Dantian, which is the name of an energy center just below the belly button. So hands are just below the belly button. Find a spot in the distance to focus your eyes on for a moment. And just try to feel the breathing here. Breathe in slowly and deeply. Stomach expands out as you inhale. And then as you exhale, little by little, you feel your hands fall back towards your spine and towards your hips. In and out. Really try to take it slowly. Some of the great masters say things like, think of it as sipping the air rather than gulping it. Drawing in and letting out a lot of little bits of air. Let's keep that breath going as we work through some movement. So let's bring the palms up and the elbows in. We're going to scoop up towards you as we breathe in. And we'll turn the wrists out, turn the palms out, keep the elbows down, reach out and breathe out. In slowly and deeply, and out. In and out. Try to imagine you're scooping fresh air and fresh energy up from below. Cleaning the body. Let's change directions now. So now we'll breathe in as we reach out, and then we'll lower down, breathing out. In, out. Fresh air, fresh energy from above. One more here. So hopefully that makes you feel a little bit more relaxed. And hopefully you get just a little bit of a sense of what it's like to time the breath with the movement. Let's do that with another Qigong move. So there are a lot of different kinds of Qigong. There are various sets of Qigong movements. There are standing Qigong programs. There are seated Qigong programs. Uh, but the idea is really focused meditative practice. I like to use it in junction with Tai Chi as a way to really illustrate key principles. So one key principle we've been talking about this morning is timing your breath with your movement, harmonizing those two things. And let's do that on this next one. We'll keep the feet out nice and wide. We'll bend the knees a bit. We'll tilt the pelvis back, flattening out the low back. We'll stretch the crown of the head up. So we're in our base Wu Chi stance. Wu Chi means emptiness. So we're trying to achieve a Wu Chi state, clearing the mind. And what we can do is we can draw the wrists up to shoulder height and just let the elbows hang. And it might be hard to see from this angle. This posture is called standing like a tree pose. And it's kind of like rounded out, like we're just giving you a side view here, like we're giving a big hug to a tree, okay? So the elbows are a little relaxed, fingertips are pointing in towards each other, maybe one fist distance between the fingertips. Let's draw the shoulder blades back a bit. And going back to that breath, let's first just take a few deep breaths here. Imagining we're filling the space up that we're hugging with air, with energy. So as we breathe in, we pull the air and energy up from the floor, through the legs, through the arms, and fill the space up. And as we breathe out, try to imagine all that stuff's falling right back down into the ground. Breathing in slowly and deeply, and out. We'll try to time some movement with this now. So we'll take in a deep breath, and then the whole time we breathe out, we're slowly going to turn the palms out, turning the thumbs down, like we're pressing the palms out towards each other while still maintaining that rounded arm structure. As we breathe in, we'll turn the palms back towards us. So you'll turn the palms back towards you. I'll turn my palms back towards me. Breathe out, twist the palms away. Breathe in, palms face you. Slowly, little by little, turning the palms out, little by little, bringing them back. One more of these, breathing out and in. Let's add a little bit more movement here. We'll shift over, turn to the side as we rotate the palms away, keep the head up and back up. And then we'll come back to the middle, breathing in. Shift over, turn and breathe out. Back to the middle, breathing in. And we're trying to time the breath with the rotation of the palms and the rotation of the trunk. And if it's too tricky, just slow it down. Let's change directions now. Other side. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Out. In. Out again. And in again. Okay. So we've done a little Qigong work. We've done some breath work. Let's get into some techniques now. What we'll do today are Tai Chi techniques from Yang Style Tai Chi, Y-A-N-G, Yang Style Tai Chi. We'll do just a few and then we'll string them together. Traditionally, Tai Chi exercise is taught in a method called forms. And forms are choreographed sequences of movements that are strung together as a means of one generation of practitioner handing the benefits and details of their style down to the next generation of practitioner. So they're choreographed forms. And if you look here on YouTube, you'll find all kinds of different videos of Yang style and other styles of Tai Chi forms. And you might see hundreds of different ways of doing the same form, but in each of them, you'll also see a lot of similarity. And the bigger thing, more than worrying about who's right, and which detail's right, and who knows what more than the other, is just looking for the similarities. And no matter which way you learn it, practicing it, because that's how the body stays fresh and healthy. That's how the mind stays calm. I don't know about any of you, but I know that without Tai Chi, I'd probably be a lot crazier and a lot weirder than I already am. So that's too much information. Let's jump into some techniques. The first technique that we always like to do is how we begin and end all of our forms. And I'll warn you, Yang Style Tai Chi techniques have some strange names, but don't worry about it. We're going to do one called drawing the silk. Drawing the silk. So what we'll do is we'll bring the shoulders back. We'll keep the head up high, feet together. And let's just breathe in and out here before we begin. Nice deep breath. And this technique begins by showing the world it's time for Tai Chi. You show the world it's time for Tai Chi by picking that left heel up. Then we'll take an empty step out to the side. The toes are still pointing straight ahead. And I call it an empty step because there's really not any weight in this leg. The right leg here has all the weight. But as we draw the wrists up to shoulder height, all of a sudden we're shifting the weight to the middle. The weight distribution is evened out. Palms go out. And then we sink, breathing out, keeping the head up, keeping the back up, lowering the arms. To get out of it, let's draw the wrists back up as we stand up. Bring the palms out, step in, and lower down. Good. Again, heel up, step out, breathe in and out. Draw the wrists back up, step in, lower down. One more here. Heel up, step out, drawing the silk. By the time the arms lower, it's kind of like saying, it's go time. Here comes some Tai Chi for you. So from here, we could do a lot of different techniques. Well, one that we can do, which is a common follow-up in the Yang Style 10 to this technique that we've just done, is called Repulsing the Monkey. And repulsing the monkey, in some forms, you move up and down the room. Right now, we're just going to keep these legs working. We're going to keep these knees bent, and we're going to do a stationary version. Let's bring the left palm out in front, midline of the chest, palm up, fingers flat. I'll give you a side view here. Let's bring the right arm up behind you. We're going to press the right hand forward by pointing the fingertips forward and pressing forward right over that left palm. We'll pull the left hand back to the waist, and then we'll change sides by flipping the front palm up and reaching the back arm back. So we press forward and pull back. And then we'll flip up and reach back. We'll press forward and pull back. And then we'll flip up and reach back. Let's keep it going here. We'll breathe out as we press forward and pull back. And then we'll breathe in as we flip up and reach back. Out. In. One more on each side. Out. In. Out. In. And why not do one more, right? Out. And in. Good. So far, we've gotten to warm up. We've gotten to do some Qigong. And now we've done 2 Tai Chi techniques. We've done drawing the silk. And we've done repulsing the monkey. So that's a good thing. Let's do another one. And this one, we'll get some movement. Right now, I'm facing you straight on. For the movement here, let's try to aim to a corner of the room, okay? So if we're just where we were earlier with our feet out a little bit wider than hips width with a little bit of a bend in our knees, let's lower the palms down. Let's scoop up, and then we'll shift over as we scoop up. We'll shift over the left leg. We'll pick up the right foot and step out on the heel towards the corner of the room. We'll point the fingertips forward, and as we shift our weight into that right foot, we're going to press forward. So the footwork is simple. The footwork, we're shifting over, we're picking up the foot, stepping out on the heel, and then little by little, I call it rolling forward. I want to imagine your foot's rounded, and millimeter by millimeter, you're flattening the foot as you sink the hips and press them forward. When you finish, your front knee should be bent, facing the corner you're aiming towards. Hips, chest, shoulders, all pointing to that corner. Back knees straight, both feet are flat. Commonly, where people run into trouble is they do this one, where the heel comes up and they're leaning in. Instead, let's keep our weight sinking right down into the middle. To get out of it, let's sit back, pick up the toes, and step back. The hand movements were simple. We started out here scooping up, keeping the elbows down, pointing the fingertips forward, and then pressing forward. So let's put that together. So we'll scoop up as we shift over, step out on the heel, sink the hips, pressing forward. Sit back, toes up, step back. Let's try the other corner. Scoop up, step out, press. Come back. Scoop up, step out, and press. Come back. Scoop up, press. Back. One more on each. With Tai Chi forms, usually people are going up and down the room or at a park, up and down the lawn. But really, you don't need a lot of space to practice, as you see, because all this stuff can be modified and customized to what you got available, which is really nice, especially in times like these because you don't need a bunch of fancy equipment. You don't need a lot of space. You just need a little time and a little focus. So for me, the focus is the hardest part, but that's why I do it, because it helps me focus. Speaking of losing focus, let's see. We were getting ready to do another technique, weren't we? Let's do a technique now called parting the wild horse's mane. Let's bring the left hand to the belly button, palm up. Let's bring the right hand below the chin, palm down. We call this posture holding the ball. And I wore this shirt for our boxing group, our Southpaws Boxing Club, because of the shape. The shape is ideal for this technique. If you're holding a ball about this size between your palms, the palms are facing each other. For the hand portions, you could imagine the bottom hand, if we're doing one hand at a time, you could imagine the bottom hand comes out around our imaginary ball, just to shoulder height, with the palm not quite tilted, flipped up, not quite towards you, but a little bit in between. So it's slanted away from you. So that's the bottom hand. We're holding the ball, deep breath in, and then we breathe out as we bring that bottom hand out around the ball. Breathe in and bring it back. Out. In. Out. In. So you get a good sense for that. The top hand drops down to the waist with the palm down and the fingertips straight ahead. So we're here, like you're resting it on a countertop. Bring it back, bring it down. Back to the top. We know the top hand goes down. And then we can put it together here. Bottom hand goes out, top hand goes down. If we wanted to change sides, we could flip this front hand over and scoop the other hand under. And the same principles apply from earlier. Let's soften the knees. Bottom hand goes out, top hand goes down, flip over, scoop under. We'll do a couple more. Bottom hand goes out, top hand goes down, flip over, scoop under. If it's easy for you, try moving both hands at the same time. So we'll separate our hands, bringing the bottom hand out and the top hand down. And then we'll gather up the ball by flipping over and scooping under. Separate, gather up the ball. If it's too hard, go back to the two-part motion. Don't worry about it. Separate, gather. If it's easy to do this, then add the breathing. Breathe out as we separate. Breathe in as we gather. Breathe out as we separate. In as we gather. Out as we separate. In as we gather. How about one more? Separate and gather. Good. We're going to do the same footwork or similar footwork to what we did earlier when we were stepping to the corner and pressing. So we want to end up in that same otter stance, gong bu stance, bow stance. Stance has a lot of names is the point here, but where your front knee is bent, your back knee is pretty straight. It looks a lot like a lunge. It should feel a lot like a lunge, but it should feel a lot smoother than just stepping out and flopping the foot. It should feel a lot more slow and controlled, like you're sinking the hips, pressing them forward and rising up. Your hips move like you're lining a pan. The lining of a pan, we know, a cooking pan, dips down, smooths out, and rises up a bit. So let's try that out. Left hand to the belly button, palm up. Right hand below the chin, palm down. We'll breathe in as we shift over. We'll step out on the heel. And the whole time we sink the hips and flatten the feet, we'll separate our hands. Bottom hand goes out. Top hand goes down. To get out of it, we'll sit back, pick up the toes, step back, other side. Separate, come back, gather up the ball. Separate, gather, separate, gather. One more on each. Separate, gather. Last one here. Separate and gather. Good. Okay, so we've done drawing the silk. We've done repulsing the monkey. We've scooped up and pressed. We've parted the wild horse's mane. Let's put it together. And this is not by any means a form, a choreographed sequence of moves, but it's a great way to come up with just a little practice drill, a way to get some work done with some techniques that you can repeat over and over. And as those techniques get easier, then you add more. And then you could track down a teacher, learn some forms, or at least just have some tools to practice with at home. So here we go. We're going to start out feet together, shoulders back and down, stretch the crown of the head up, nice deep breath in and out before we begin. And all of a sudden, on World Tai Chi Day 2020, the heel comes up, we step out, we're drawing the silk. Bring the left palm up in front and the right arm up behind you to repulse the monkey. Let's lower the arms. We'll shift over so we can scoop up, step out, and press forward. Rock back. Step back, other side, scoop up, press and shift. Rock back, let's gather up the ball, separate, gather, separate, gather, lower the arms down, draw the wrists up, draw the heel up, step back in, lower down. And you might think, holy cow, that flew by. Don't worry, we'll do it again. Usually the first time you do something like that, it feels kind of like, hold on, what is happening? Don't worry. We'll do it again. It'll feel a little better. We'll do it again. It'll feel a lot better. I hope. So here we go. Standing tall, shoulders back, heads up high. Deep breath in and out. Left heel up. Step out. Drawing the silk. Set up for repulsing the monkey. Forward and pull back. Flip up and reach back. Press forward and pull back. Lower the arms. Scoop up. Step out. Roll forward and press forward. Come back. Breathe in and out. Come back. Gather the ball. Step out and separate. Step out. Separate. Lower the arms. Draw the wrists up. Step in. Lower down. Let's try it one more time, even slower, okay? Slower is better, and that way you've got time to really feel the movements, really focus on the movements, and hopefully have some fun with it. All right, before we begin let's just hang on for a second here, trying to feel the chi, feel the energy, feel the relaxation. We're sending it around the globe today. Everybody needs it, that's for sure. A lot going on out there. Anyway, deep breath in and out. Heel up. Step out. Drawing the silk. Set up for repulsing the monkey. Press forward and pull back. Flip up and reach back. Press forward and pull back. Sit back, lower the arms. Scoop up. Step out. Press. Rock back. Again. Scoop up. Step out. Press. Back. Gather the ball. Roll forward and separate. Come back. Roll forward and separate. Draw the wrists up. Lower down. I hope that felt awesome. I know for me, I appreciate that you're even out there and that this is an opportunity to do it, because I know I always feel better when I get to do this stuff. So before we close out here, let's just take a few deep breaths. We'll reach out, breathing in. Lower down, breathing out. 2 more. In, out, in, and out. I want to thank you all for showing up for World Tai Chi and Qigong Day 2020. Hopefully you learned something new. Or if you already knew it, hopefully you learned a new aspect of something old. That's my buddy Junior. He runs the gym with me. But I guess Junior and I then both want to thank you for showing up. And hopefully you feel like this has been a good use of your time. Hopefully you had some fun. And if you need more info on this stuff, or if you have questions or concerns, you can always visit our website, tribewellness.org. You can find us on Instagram at Tribe Wellness LLC. We're so official. We've got a Facebook page and a YouTube page. It's unbelievable. We've got a fantastic website too because of our friend Dewey. Nicely done. Anyway, you could even email me, tribewellnessllc@gmail.com. But hopefully, if nothing else, this gives you a little info about what Tai Chi is, how you can use it, and if you have questions about how to practice, hopefully I can help you or I can get you in touch with people who can. Thank you once again. I always like to close out in a formal way. So let's stand tall. And then as a sign of respect to each other and where we practice, we'll give a slight bow. Hopefully at home, you can give yourselves a round of applause for good work. And hopefully we'll see you in the future here. Junior wants to get in on this. He loves having people in class. And hopefully you won't be a stranger.